Hi guys, welcome to this channel. Once again, it's me talking nonsense and rambling about guitars and things that don't really matter, but I like to put them into order in my head, and by making these videos, I seem to sort of therapy myself into some sort of logic. So, I'm as guilty as the next guy of thinking of the effect of the tuners, of the string trees, the bone nuts and the graphite nuts and rosewood and maple and Indian laurel and the pickups, if they're alnico or ceramic, if they're hot or if they're vintage, if the electronics are full size, if they're CTS, if the jack is a pure tone or whatever, if we are using a string through versus some sort of over-the-top bridge like a Les Paul. I think about all those things and for way too long. But one thing that I have learned from playing live, even if it is at the low grassroots environment, doing solo gigs and doing the open mic here and there and doing the duo band gig at the open mics and by ourselves, is that there are things that affect your sound way more than any piece of gear that you might have. I've heard that it's like the speakers are really important, the amp is really important, the pedals are really important, and they are, and for yourself and for the audience, those things are important. But there are a few things that are even more important. Stay with me if you like to see what they are. So one of the things that's going to affect your sound straight away is your mindset. How do you feel about the gig? Are you excited? Do you feel like you got shortchanged for it? Are you really nervous? Is it with people that you don't know well? It's like you're playing this gig, but it's not really your thing. Maybe it's because a friend of a friend asked you to do it. All of these things are going to affect your ability to play and how you're gonna sound. And even your movement on stage, your stage presence, your demeanor, all those things are going to, one way or another, interact with the audience, and even if the audience is just bar stuff, and it's gonna make it a big difference. The other thing that is really important and often not talked about is the room that you're playing in. Are you playing in a carpeted room like in a pub? Are you playing in a tiled room like in a bar that's easier to clean, the floors? Are you playing on a stage? How high is the stage? How big is the stage? What sort of speakers does it have? Does it have those tiny speakers? How many people are in the room? Are you playing to an open, empty space that you're gonna have echoing and reverbs and strange sounds around you, or playing to a packed venue that is being designed to have a band on stage? One that's a bit out of control probably is the mixing. Is the mixing done by yourself on stage or wherever you're playing, by your own mixer, by a mixer that is from the venue but it's there on the stage and you sort of have to figure out if I'm hearing this here, they might be hearing something like that outside? Is the mixing being done by a sound person? Is the guy at the back paying attention to what you're doing? If you have solos, or if you have effects, or if you have something that's a bit different. For example, I like to have the two low strings going into a bass rig with an octaver and everything. Are they paying attention to that? Are they EQing you properly? Is everything balanced if it's in a band environment? Is the guitar too low or too high? Is it just drums that you can hear and you can sort of realize that and be playing and what's going on around here? Hopefully is done by someone that's really good. I found that sometimes even just bringing a friend that is able to sort of adjust the mixing while you're playing, or even, who knows, record yourself playing the sound check, and then adjust mixing accordingly. But mixing for me has been something that has been super difficult to get right playing gigs. This leads me to another aspect, the monitoring, the sound monitoring. Some people use IEMs, but that sort of disconnects you from the rest of the room and sort of the volume that everything else is being played at, including the drums. And if you have backing tracks in there and you're not really comfortable with it, it might get really tricky really fast. Are you using tops, like just monitors on the floor that are turned against you, but are you using that with mics on stage? And is that causing feedbacking? Are you using amps? Are you going direct? Are you miking the amps? All of those things are things to consider. Like I played a gig where we couldn't hear the bass because the bass wasn't done properly. I've played others that the voice is way too loud and it feedbacks everywhere. I've done others where I can barely hear the guitar. I've seen people that is just drums and nothing else. It's it definitely affects your sound and definitely affects your ability to play. And on top of monitoring, there's instances where the monitoring, you can choose what sound is going to you and what sound is going outside. The mix might be perfect for the outside and bad for you, or might be perfect for you and bad for the outside. So once again, have someone mix it properly, please. Finally, more than any pickup might change, if you have the ears and mind that is allowing you to play the riffs and the licks and the songs and the solos and everything, regardless of the gear, you're gonna get there. If you don't, if you're not sure of when the parts are supposed to be played, even if they are simple, like you're playing and then it stops and then it starts again and then it stops, do you know that really well? Do you know how to play the solo comfortably? Do you know how to get in and out of playing a certain part that's a bit more challenging? Are you playing on the same register that everyone else is playing? Is everything in tune? Did you remember to tune the guitar after 3 songs? All of those things are going to change the tone and change the enjoyment of the audience and again yourself. And as long as you have good monitoring, good mixing, you know your parts, you're happy to be there, or at least you are being competent about it, you're gonna sound absolutely amazing, especially if you have good ears. Something to keep in mind, those are things that I personally found affect the tone and the sound when you're playing way more than any gear ever could. But the hunt continues. Despite me knowing all of these, I still look at guitars all the time and I still have way too many guitars for my ability to actually play. If this was helpful to you and you found it enjoying, please leave a like, maybe subscribe to watch some other videos that I might put up eventually. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.